So the party starts right where we left off with Strike Back, in that I am still emotionally traumatised, and so are all the characters because Evolution aired far too soon. I was not mentally prepared yet. So Monarch Daddy wastes no time in trying on his new outfits, which wasn't a good idea. I think we can all agree on that. And to be honest, I do think he would have won it in this episode if the Kwamis hadn't given him chronic back pain.
Little bit dizzy at the beginning and yeah, a little bit painful, but...
The episode ends with Alex going off to see some dinosaurs and Natalie screaming at Gabriel Babes over the phone for ruining her train journey, which is no less than what he deserved. Up next we have multiplication and destruction, which kind of sort of seem to happen at the same time, and I'm still a little bit confused about it, as well as being confused about Adrian's sudden realisation of having feelings for Marinette after only one conversation in Risk. He tries to kiss her repeatedly during the long break without Akumas, and he makes the weird executive decisions to firstly abandon Nino when the Akuma attack happens, and secondly go on the train tracks to transform. Like, were there no alleyways empty in any of Paris at this time? Do you not care about your health, Adrian?
No.
The episode ends with the launch of the Alliance rings, which is impressive they managed to do it in all a matter of weeks, and Amelie is serving tea to Felix as well. So British. I have absolutely zero idea where they got that stereotype from. It's just absolutely bizarre, don't you think? Thankfully, the next episode opens with the Kwamis calling Gabriel Babes a meanie, but oh my god, Sabine, a queen in her pyjamas. But why does Gabriel just assume the Du Pencheng bakery after the instruction of follow the smell of croissants? Do you know how many bakeries there are in Paris, Gabriel, or did you forget because you never leave the house, or is this just the only one you actually know? He follows the trail only for it to end with Cat Noir cataclysming him, and all he can say is,
"Checkmate, Ladybug." Gabriel
Babes? This ain't the move you think it is, okay? I know you think you like pull up a power move here, but no. This isn't gonna go to plan, okay? I promise you. After this is Jubilation, aka the episode that ripped my heart out. This was so upsetting.
That's so upsetting.
But I do really want to know when Gabriel digitized his wife for his Alliance ring. But you know, you can't spell necromancy without romance, am I right? The episode ends with Cat Noir almost cataclysming his principal in the face, and honestly, after what he did, he totally should have. Like, I know we did get some death this season, but I want more. After this is Illusion, which sees the formation of the Resistance, in which Nino tells them all he was Carapace and that Alia was Rena Rouge. Well done, mate. And he also delivers this line.
Who is Comrade Bechamel?
It could be you if you want it.
That was so creepy, Nino, the way you said that. But not as creepy as Lila doing this, like, Naruto run out of the cafeteria after them. The episode peaks when the kids accidentally throw food at Gabriel Babes, and then he nearly gets eaten by mice, and while I'm sure that would have been an awful way to go, I actually really wanted to see that. I'm so disappointed. In Determination, Adrian and Marinette finally go on a date with a grumpy wing woman and a boy who is still in love with Marinette. And we find out Adrian was the only one of us who enjoyed that scene in Puppeteer 2, so Gabriel Babes, please take your son to the doctors, his head needs checking. They slice up wax statues of their friends, and as they do, Marinette realises she's in love with Cat Noir. What a time to fall in love, and just as Adrian finally realises his feelings for Marinette. But what can you do? It's just another day on French Hannah Montana.
It is what it is at this point.
Up next is Passion, where our queen Natalie reigns supreme like she's fabulous. She's a personal assistant, a treasure hunter, a pro wrestler. I want to be here. She tries her best to paralyse her surrogate son and the girl he's in love with, so the kids switch Miraculous and it turns Marinette into a massive flirt. Who knew she had it in her? In Reunion, Marinette decides to wake up Joan of Arc to ask her how she fell in love with the cat holder of her time, because, you know, it's not like we don't have any more pressing matters to attend to here, you know, such as defeating Monarch Daddy, yeah, not important. Jaleel is akumatized, but he manages to break out of it himself after a quick general knowledge quiz, as you do. After is Elation, in which Marinette nearly falls out with her bestie because of her supposed feelings for Cat Noir, and then they kiss. as in Cat Noir and Marinette kiss, not Alia and Marinette, although I know some of you would like that too. Cat Noir realises Marinette is too much of a fangirl for them to date, and she almost gets acclimatised because of it, but it's all okay in the end. Even though Marinette's parents almost die, Alia saves them while with a bowl on her head, and Gabriel Babes notably says,
Cat Noir has feelings for Marinette Dupan Chang. I don't know to what extent, but they exist. And they are a weakness that I intend to exploit.
And it was never mentioned again. Wonderful. And then it's time for Kwamis' choice, and may I say, Tiki and Plag, neither of you are allowed to make another choice for as long as you live. This one was horrific, but also very enjoyable at the same time. Well done. They force Adrian and Marinette to give up their Miraculouses so they can date. For the greater good, am I right? They give them to Zoe and Alia instead, and it goes really well. Up until the point it doesn't, because they kept their alliance on the whole time.
Yeah.
So in Deflagration, after a musical number that traumatised me, Gabriel Babes uses his brain, turns himself invisible, and goes to the school to stalk 2 teenage girls. Normal behaviour. He paralyses both of them and gets their Miraculous, but it's all okay because Marinette manages to save the day by painting her outfit to look like a Ladybug costume. Very strange. So she saves the day with the help of some paint guns and Nino sacrificing himself. He was great in this episode. MVP. Well done, Nino. Up next is Perfection, that had the most random song in it, like Adrian. Why didn't you just write Marinette an email? You didn't need to sing to her, alright. Kagami gets acclimatised because she thinks Marinette is ignoring her, and she also finds out Marinette is Ladybug, although we don't know that until episode 24. And honestly, I still don't know why she needed to know. It didn't really help whatsoever, but okay. After is Migration, otherwise known as the episode where Wishmaker finally pays off, as well as the one with the Ducky song. Monarch Daddy works out Luca knows who Ladybug and Cat Noir are, so after throwing Bob Ross in the Seine several times, Luca decides to leave Paris. And I would say I would miss you, but you're hardly ever in the show. Your absence was not felt, Luca. Then we have Derision, in which Adrian and Marinette go on a date, only for Marinette to suddenly remember all of Chloe's bullying from the previous school year in which Kim traumatised her too, which she has never mentioned before. It's almost as if this episode, you know, wasn't planned and it was just done out of convenience. Imagine that. Never a Miraculous, God no.
I'm really good at my job.
The episode after is Intuition. We see Gabriel Babes progressively lose all of his jelly beans, and by jelly beans I mean brain tissue, obviously. He uses the snake Miraculous far too many times and also tries to kill Max's mum. This is a show for kids, right? Gabriel Babes ends the episode vowing to spend more time with his son. We all know how that went.
I've made some empty promises in my life, but hands down, that was the most generous.
Because in Pretension, this man dedicates it to trying to break up his son and his girlfriend.
Stop it. Get some help.
And at the same time, Lila has been manipulating Kagami, and she realises she still loves Adrian, even though no hints were given to this whatsoever. Foreshadowing really isn't this show's strong suit, is it? And speaking of which, in Adoration, we have Zoe spending all day with Marinette to plan the end of school year dance, which involves a trampoline spread between the 4 legs of the Eiffel Tower, which must violate so many health and safety laws. But we also find out Zoe is in love with Marinette, which was also never hinted at before. Thankfully, her confession spurs Marinette to tell Adrian how she feels. Before they can kiss, they are stopped by one of the most memeable moments from the show.
No.
Up next is Emotion, because we have to have at least one episode per season where Felix impersonates his cousin. Felix, please seek help. He invades the Diamond Dance, as does Marinette, because she couldn't just send Adrian a text to let him know she knew what was going on. But then Felix gets bored and decides to banish everyone in the city whilst performing a musical number. Like I said, might need some help. He keeps Adrian, Kagami and Marinette, except not Marinette since he got rid of Ladybug, and as a result he decides to murder the Senti monster. Big ass yikes to that. However, the episode ends with Lila revealing she knows Gabriel Babes is Monarch Daddy, and let me tell you, the vindication I felt.
She knows! I knew she knew! I
been saying? Oh, I feel vindicated. How long have I been saying she knows? I have been saying she knows for ages. She knows. Like I have known since season 3 and everyone was like, Hayes, no, she doesn't know. I was right.
My, how the tables have turned.
After is Pretension and Felix, please, seriously, go to the doctors because he's been stalking Kagami. These characters, I swear to God. But at the same time, Marinette is at Adrian's house and she's telling her father-in-law just how much his pancakes suck. What an icon. Tomoe gets akumatized because she's not happy about her daughter getting kidnapped, and to be honest, you know, I get it, I'm there with her. But it's not very nice when she tries to take Kagami's amok from her. Thankfully, Felix sorted all of that because he just had a fake of Kagami's ring ready-made, apparently, and they have a little date in the cinema, even though she was still in love with Adrian in the previous episode, so I don't know what to tell you, besties. Up next is episode 20, Revelation, and the writers decide to finally bring up the class rep stuff that started in the season 1 episode Darkblade, but it hasn't really been mentioned ever since. And Lila's like, hey, I'd like to be class rep, even though I wasn't even a member of the student body on the day. Like, I probably hadn't even enrolled in the school. I probably wasn't even in the country at the time. She fakes anger towards Marinette, and Monarch Daddy akumatizes Lila while she's on the toilet. It's a bold choice, but I'm not Gabriel babes, thank God, because I'd cry if I looked like that. Lila tells everyone that Marinette is actually Monarch Daddy. Were the writers high when they wrote this episode? In the end, I guess it doesn't matter though, because Lila and Chloe become the class reps for the final 2 weeks of school. And interestingly, Marinette didn't even vote for herself for class rep. What's wrong with you, girly pop? It doesn't last long though, because after forging everyone's forms for their future decisions for schooling, and Julika is akumatized again into Reflector, Lila is finally exposed for being a liar and also wearing a wig. Turns out she's been doing the same things at other schools too, and Lila, how can you be bothered? Where does this motivation come from? Like, just, why?
So just chill out. You know, drink a 7-Up, eat a moon pie, quit murdering people.
So Lila leaves Chloe at school, who in collusion just decides to cause chaos, which ends with Gabriel kind of blackmailing the mayor after editing a video of him that gets Miss Bustier akumatized. And we gotta ask the important questions here. But was her baby akumatized too? I really don't know. Turns out her akuma wasn't needed since Andre was going to resign anyway, so instead Gabriel Babes offers all the robots to Chloe, she takes over Paris and outlaws superheroes. And no one really does a thing to stop her. Like, I know this is just a TV show and it's got magic in it, I know it's not real, but like, what? Thankfully, the people of Paris aren't having it and stage a revolution, but only when Ladybug and Cat Noir are about to, you know, be revealed, their identities be revealed. Let me just remind you, these are the same group of people who took on Monarch Daddy in episode 11 with just paint guns, and when it comes to Chloe being the mayor, like, no, I don't think I can do it, Chief.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. No, it doesn't! Not cool at all!
With Chloe taken care of and Miss Bustier now running for mayor, the kids leave to get ready for the dance, only for Adrian to be taken to London. Thankfully, he finally tells Marinette what's going on and they finally kiss, only for them to be ripped apart. And if I was that man at the airport, I'd be like, this is 110% above my pay grade. I would not have done a single thing. Like, Gabriel, Mr. Agrest, if you want to separate them, that's on you. You do it. I'm going back to the airport, I don't want anything to do with this. This leads into representation, which was largely pointless. But we do get to see Adrian kind of get to confront his dad about the way he is treated, and after leaving her light up tiara with Nino looked fabulous by the way, Marinette goes to watch Felix and Kagami's play about Adrian and Kagami are all sentient monsters, and still, people are leaving comments under my videos like, yeah, but I didn't actually confirm it though, did it, Hayes? And I was like, bestie, I didn't like this episode, but that was literally the only point this episode served. If you still don't believe it at this point, then that's entirely on you. It's completely a you problem, okay? Despite Felix telling her Monarch Daddy's identity, Marinette doesn't make any moves until a whole day after, and even then she only goes to the Agrest mansion to find information on Adrian. Not because of what Felix tells her. Meanwhile, Kagami and Adrian are in London in cells. That's it, we don't see them until the end of the season. Interestingly though, they gave Kagami a bookcase, you know, reading, an activity that can be done alone, wonderful. But then they gave Adrian a football table. You need 2 people to make a football table fun. Like, The cells were bad enough, but at least, you know, give him something to do that he can do on his own. So back in Paris, while everyone else is meditating, Marinette is breaking into Adrian's house and Natalie is going to murder her boss, a queen. What can I say?
She's got a point. She's an icon. She's a legend. And she is the moment. Now come on now.
Very sadly she fails, and this is when Marinette finds out Gabriel is Monarch Daddy. Or maybe she found out in episode 24, I really don't know anymore. Or care, to be honest. The rest of the world gets turned into these weird blokes who are targeting Ladybug, so Marinette has the bright idea of transforming in the smallest kitchen cupboard she can find. Like, did you not think about going in Adrian's bathroom again instead? I don't know. Plague arrives and he also finds out Gabriel behaves as Monarch Daddy. Honestly, he sounds more surprised than Marinette did, but they didn't have much time because that's when Monarch Daddy finds her. He's really not that shocked, to be honest, to find out she's Ladybug, and they have an amazing fight in which Marinette takes the executive decision to destroy the floor. And they all fall down into the murder basement. Meanwhile, Luca is back in town along with Lady Dragon Eagle and my daughter Aeon, and they all fight as Marinette and Gabriel Babes do battle, and he uses one of his last moments to let Marinette know just how much he ships Adrian and Kagami.
Kagami et Adrien deviendront les icônes absolues de ce monde.
Like, he's kind of like, yes, I want to save my wife, but also, by the way, I will go down with the Adrigami ship. Priorities, Gabriel Babes, priorities. After Marinette misplaces her sympathy, Gabriel makes the wish and sacrifices himself, and everything seems fine and dandy, except it's not, because Marinette is lying to Adrian about the whole thing, and Lila also got the butterfly Miraculous. Somehow. I don't know, did she bring a swimming costume with her? And then Lila also decides to enroll at the school the rest of the kids are presumably going to under her new disguise as Edna Mode from The Incredibles.
Knock it!
But I swear to God, if none of the kids recognise her, Geneva are going to have to invite me to their next convention due to my actions.